Hello, Gerard Byrne from Volunteering North Queensland. Welcome to our sessions on Management Committee Essentials. Today we're going to speak on succession planning. What is succession planning? Succession planning is just a simple strategy where you develop people within your organisation to take on new roles. It's not only for your committee members, which is important, but also other members of your organisation. So what are the things you need to think about with succession planning? First and foremost, the chair of your committee. For many organisations, this is a position hard to fill. And so you need to find somebody with the experience, the ability to lead, the ability to speak in public, a whole host of attributes. Where do you find such a person? Looking within your organisation, start to look at those who you can have deputised in the role as opportunities present themselves. So on your committee, it's always a good idea to have a deputy chair, or in fact a chair-elect in your committee to start developing somebody into the role. If you can't find that person in your own organisation, talk to others about who might be available and who might be interested to fill the role. Some organisations actually advertise in the public media or in newsletters for a suitable person. Another area where you can look to recruit a suitable person is maybe from a service club or other organisation in your community. It just can't be overemphasised how important it is to have the right person in the role of chair. And you need always to be thinking about who can take over. You need also maybe to think about in your rules or your constitution to set a term that a person can serve as chair. Can they only have 3 terms, that is 3 years, or 5 years as a maximum? So it forces the organisation to look for a new person. Much like you do in the American political system where the president only has 2 terms. So again, you need to have in place processes that actually encourage the organisation to seek and have new blood, new people coming through. The secretary, very similar to the president in terms of, or the chair, looking for somebody who's got the skills and the ability. Some of the things you might need to think about doing with the secretary is actually looking at having an assistant secretary, much like you have a deputy chair, but you provide adequate training to people. Talk to your local TAFE college, council or other organisation to see if they would run a committee development workshop for your community group, where your secretary or potential secretary, future secretary, can learn some of the skills about being a secretary. Because the secretary is not just about agenda and minutes, it's about keeping records for the organisation, it's about keeping records of your membership, and it's about reporting annually. So the secretary's role is far more important than many people give it credit for. So therefore it's important to have somebody in the role and somebody waiting in the wings to take over so this vital role is performed. Treasurer. I said the other 2 roles are important, likewise the treasurer. Normally the treasurer, the secretary and the president would form an executive in any organisation, be it run by a committee or a board. So the third party to the arrangement, that is the treasurer, is very similar again in terms of looking at people who are trained, who have experience. You may need to be able to go to an accounting firm or something like that to see if somebody from those types of organisations would be willing to be involved. Some of the things I've done in the past is look at getting a university student in that role. With so many mature age students and other experienced people now at university, it is quite possible to find somebody suitable who would like some current experience so that they then can look for employment on graduation. So it's a win-win for both you and the committee. Likewise with the treasurer, it's not necessarily a young person you seek. There's a lot of people in service clubs who are either in the financial profession or those who may already retired but may have a banking or finance or accounting background. You may be willing to put in a few hours a month to fulfil that role. I currently chair a body and I've got a treasurer from the local taxation office. So again, think outside the box about who are the organisations in your community that have people with financial skills that might be able to help you. As to the other members of your committee, how do you go about succession planning for them? Often, as we all know, it's hard even to get a full committee, let alone a quorum at a meeting. So it is vital that you are able to attract and keep interested and committed people on your committee, firstly. Secondly, you need to look at who might replace them. Often we have turnover in committees with people leaving town, etc. You need to build a spirit around your committee so that you capture those people and maintain their interest, that they have a purpose for being there, that you celebrate success and you recognise their contribution. Too often committees become very formal, very ritual, and lose their vitality and their spirit. Just the simple celebratory things make all the difference to keep people interested and involved. As chair of that organisation, keeping in touch with your committee members is vital. What if all of these strategies don't work? Well, there's more. One option you can look at is volunteers who can perform the role in what we call a virtual capacity. So there might be somebody from some other area, geographic area, who might be willing, through Skype or some other online method, to become part of your committee. So for example, some of the areas that this might help is maybe somebody with a marketing or PR background might be able to do this online. The other things that I look at with some of the organisations I work with is trying to avoid actually having people come to a committee meeting and have funding to actually do it by teleconference. So again, people aren't losing time getting to and from the meetings, because often I find this is one of the biggest handicaps and hurdles to people being on committees, is actually the travelling to and from the activities. So again, look at more innovative ways of how you run your committee to make it more effective, enjoyable and attractive to future members. So when you can offer to members and prospective committee members a functioning, vibrant committee with some good practices, well then you're more likely to have a succession plan that will work and you'll be able to have smooth transitions.